Hey
Hey guys,
guys, I'm Jess,
I'm Kira.
And I'm Tiffany,
and welcome to the Rift Podcast.
where we discuss relevant issues for teens.
Relevant issues for teens. Get it? It's the acronym RIFT. Today's RIFT is music. We'll get into what we like to listen to and how it helps us. Tiffany, would you like to start with what you like to listen to nowadays?
Yeah, sure. So I love listening to R&B music. Some of my
Same.
favorite artists are Daniel Caesar, Giveon. Oh my God, there's so many that I listen to. But I also like listening to Korean R&B. Um,
Same.
and some artists that I listen to are G Soul, J Park. Uh, oh God, it's like
Like Jimmy
it's
Brown. You showed me Jimmy
yeah,
Brown.
Jimmy Brown. Yes, Jimmy Brown. Um, oh yeah, there's just so many. But yeah, and usually I also listen to some instrumentals, specifically also like neo soul kind of guitar solos, those kind of instrumentals. Um, I also listen to lo-fi music a little bit as well. And
Oh
usually I
yeah.
just listen to music when I need to study, focus. Honestly, music is I listen to it every day. Like it's a habit. Like I cannot go through a day without listening to music, so it's pretty important to me.
See, I feel like that's me now during the coronavirus pandemic because we're just inside and then I have that time. Like I've been before I maybe cycled through a couple songs, but now I'm really discovering new songs because I'm on YouTube Music and then it just keeps adding to the queue new songs that I discovered. So that's pretty cool. Like where do you listen to music on?
I use Spotify, and similar to YouTube Music, they have something called a Discover Weekly. So based off what you have in your playlist, they organize like new songs in another playlist that it's updated weekly. It's basically the same thing. It helps you explore new music to listen to, and it's actually really nice because most of the songs that are in those playlists are usually artists that have like a low listening, so they're not too popular. So it really helps me like get to know more artists. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also like listening to music on Spotify for pretty much the same reasons. And actually, what's pretty interesting is I have like a really different taste in music from Tiffany. I really like listening to older music. I particularly like 80s music and 2010 music. I don't know why, but those are like my jams. And probably my favorite artists are Coldplay, Imagine Dragons.
Mm,
I really like that genre of like pop, upbeat music because personally, music like has a really strong effect on my mood. So I need to think like listen to energizing and happy music and not really like sad music because then I'll
yeah,
get sad too.
like the catchy music you can play in the car. I get that.
Yeah, like the headbop music.
That would be like the soul music that I would listen to probably a while back because I didn't really look up any music on my own. I would just listen to whatever played on the radio. Or honestly, I would also know a lot of pop songs just because my sister was into music and she would always DJ. So I would just listen and I would become victim of that. But do you
Yeah,
guys have like Spotify Premium or do you just stick with the free version?
No, I don't have Spotify Premium. I usually just use my computer or my iPad to listen to music because there's less ads. And you can listen to whatever song you want, so it's a lot
Mhm.
better. And anyways, like when I'm studying, or trying to focus on something, I'm either using my computer or my iPad, so just works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I also don't have Spotify Premium, but I definitely hear a lot of ads for Spotify Premium. And same thing as Tiffany. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know a lot about tech, but when you go on Spotify from your laptop, it's basically the same as Spotify Premium, as in there are less ads and you can just choose any song you want. It doesn't have to be in a playlist. Do you have Premium?
I do not have premium. You know what though? See, because I think I've heard that things like premium and just getting those subscriptions, it might not be a lot of money, but at the same time, it's somewhere you can cut spending. Um, but my sister, she recently, probably not even a month ago, purchased like the student version. I don't know how much it costs, but it's a discounted version. And I was like, oh, you want to share that password with me? Nope, she didn't want to because then you can't play on two different devices at the same time. So that's
Spotify's smart. Spotify's smart. They thought of that
True,
before we
true.
did.
yeah. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I also heard like if you were a student and you wanted Spotify Premium, they also give you like a free trial for Hulu too. So it's like apparently it's a really good deal for college students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what also she was trying to convince my parents, like Hulu, even though we probably won't watch that much. Yeah, but I mean, I use YouTube Music. I don't really use Spotify. I have spent a lot of time on just the regular YouTube with the videos. So YouTube Music just seems familiar. And it does have ads, but I'm used to it from YouTube, obviously. And also one interesting thing with YouTube Music is that it actually brings in what you watch. If you're using the same account for your YouTube and YouTube Music, then it brings in what you watch and then it can give you recommendations on YouTube Music. If you like any music videos, then it transfers to YouTube Music.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I've always been like fascinated on how like Spotify is able to learn my taste in music. Like some of the songs they recommend me are honestly really, really nice. And a lot of the songs on my current playlist are from my Discover Weekly. So like
Hey,
they're pretty good at this stuff, you know?
maybe they don't learn your music, but your music is created through Spotify. K-pop, like before that was just listening to whatever my sister played or what was on the car radio. And then I got into K-pop, and the K-pop is like, if you just have one group that you like, then you can just play all their songs without really thinking about it, because generally a group will have similar types of music that they release. But then with YouTube Music, I realized I was just playing these different artists, and then one time, just out of curiosity, I would look up what genre is, and then I would type in their name. And then it all these different artists that I was listening to and I loved their songs. It came up as R&B, soul. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm into that music. I think it's similar to Tiffany's taste then.
Yeah, actually, I think how I got my taste in music, it's because when I was young, okay, when I was young, I was a Swiftie fan, okay? I was very into
Oh,
pop. I would love singing the songs on the radio. I also really like Rihanna. Um, and I also like listening to Celine Dion because my parents liked it. Celine Dion had some R&B in her music because her music was kind of old, it's kind of 90s. And Rihanna also had some R&B music. And honestly, like that's just kind of how I developed my taste. And it's actually kind of ironic because I'm a classical musician, right? So I played piano, and during middle school, I had this phase where I would only listen to classical music. And I also had this phase where I did not like jazz or those R&B types of music because they're kind of the polar opposites of classical music. And I don't know why, but my brain just did not like it opposed it. And now I just think it's kind of funny
the
because now I
vibe.
listen, yeah, now I basically listen to jazz and R&B, you know? So it's kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, as a classical musician, you're not expected to listen to just classical music. And I don't think any music is really polar opposites, like it's all music. And then there's no fine line between different, or it is a very fine line between different genres.
And it's so
Yeah.
interesting. I feel like music is almost a universal language. Going back to what you guys were saying about like listening to K-pop, even though music sometimes is in a different language, I feel like songs can still be really good and understandable. Like from Despacito to K-pop to, I mean, there are so
Right.
many songs I
Yeah.
can name that aren't in English. It's so
Yeah.
cool because like they're still so lovable and catchy.
Forgot about Despacito.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's a classic, you guys.
Yeah. Wasn't there like people started saying burrito? I wait, how did it go?
Yeah, like Justin
Like,
forgot the lyrics on stage, so he was just like, I don't know the words, so I'll just sing burrito.
oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that song was very trendy back then. Yeah.
Also for me, I feel like songs bring back so many memories. Like I'll hear this one song that I was really into, let's say in the summer of fourth grade, and it will just bring back so many good times. I don't know about you guys, but like music definitely connects to my memories a lot.
True. And if there was any one time that I'm listening to and I love a song and I start getting really into it and then I don't listen to it for a long time. And then later I hear it. It's nice. It brings you through different experiences. It can let you feel different moods. Do you guys ever listen to music when you're like sad or angry, whatever it is? Does it cheer you up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I listen to music 24/7 basically. A lot of my music is sad. So I don't know why, but like even if I'm not sad, I still enjoy listening to sad songs. It's not really about like it being sad, it's about it being emotional and just setting the mood, and it just makes me feel like I'm connected with something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah,
It's
actually, I
someone
don't know
else
why. I don't know
with
why I
different.
listen to very sad music. Like a lot of my music is really sad lyrics. A lot of it are in minor keys. Uh, it might be a phase right now because actually before I don't think I listened to that those kind of minor key songs. So, uh, it might be a phase right now. I don't know.
I think our music tastes change definitely throughout the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine is like the R&B recommended songs on YouTube Music. That's my phase right now.
hmm By the way, do you guys like want to give some of your favorite artists, like maybe to recommend to our listeners that may also like R&B and pop in the 80s?
Yeah, sure.
Mm. Yeah, Jess, you can give some artists and like any artists that are specifically for what moods that you want to create or whatever it is.
Yeah, I definitely like Run DMC. I love how their music is pretty catchy and upbeat. They're from the 80s. I also like Aerosmith. I like Green Day. I like Coldplay. I like, oh my gosh, my mind is just blanking out. I like The Weeknd. I like
Yeah, The Weekend.
there's one that's just not popping into my head, but I really like their music. You kind of caught me off guard there. Um, Yeah, definitely. I just like, I'm pretty sure all of the artists I'm gonna say you've probably heard of. I don't really have that much of a unique music taste.
No, I mean just whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. Do you have specific times you listen to music, Jess? I mean, also what you were saying about the bus, like you listening to music on the bus, that I can very heavily relate to. When I was in person last year, just in middle school, I would definitely listen to music after school because sometimes, honestly, oftentimes, I don't know why, I was like having a bad day, especially if you feel lonely, like it's the best to just, put in those earbuds and listen to music and like you're completely fine. Can take that loneliness away.
Yeah, I'd also like to add like music is very therapeutic for me. Um, like if I'm feeling any kind of emotion, like music just it perfectly accompanies me in every way possible. So I would honestly call it my coping mechanism when I'm going through hard
Yeah,
times. because it's always there with me, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, just like
yeah.
sometimes you don't know what to do, you can just turn on your favorite tunes. And also, you'll find a lot of music where these artists seem to be describing experiences that you might be going through or you can definitely relate to.
Yeah, and definitely, but music is so uplifting. Like Kira said, sometimes the artists are talking about like times getting better, perseverance, looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, like these kind of like really positive and uplifting things. And like those are the kind of things that you want to hear when you're feeling down or you're just in a bad mood.
Hmm.
Yep.
Tiffany, do you want to go over some artists?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh, you're
Where do I start? I have so many. Okay. So if you like, and recently I've been listening to Justin Bieber again, specifically his new song Peaches. I don't know if you guys have heard that song yet, featuring Daniel Caesar and Giveon. Also two really
oh,
good R&B
I've
artists.
probably
Definitely
listened to
check it
it
out.
from
Yeah,
my sister. Yeah.
yeah. But actually, I think Giveon recently blew up, like from TikTok. I think Kira, I think I showed you one of his songs before
Oh, you
by
did?
Giveon.
Giveon?
Yeah, Giveon. Yeah. I think I forgot which song I showed you. But I definitely showed you a song by Giveon. But his most famous song, Heartbreak Anniversary, is like really emotional. So if you're going through sad times, the music will be sad with you as well. Uh, Also, another artist I like listening to is the most famous Billie Eilish. I usually
Oh,
just listen
yeah.
to her just to, dance, sing, just overall a really good vibe from her. Okay, going into Korean R&B, I think Kira mentioned this, but Jimmy Brown is a super underrated artist that you need to check out. So good. I recommend Two Things by Jimmy Brown, and also Irene by Jimmy Brown. Um,
Oh, I know two things. I also
yeah.
know, I don't know if this is a newer one, but Let Me Know.
Oh yeah, I think he recently released an album this year. I think that was like one of the new songs, but I haven't listened to it that much yet, unfortunately. Yeah. Um, and I think,
Sam Kim.
yeah, Sam Kim. Okay, Sam Kim will get you in your feels. It would make you cry. Um, yeah, basically, I would suggest listening to Seattle, by Sam Kim. That's a really good ballad, a piano ballad. That's it's honestly very emotional. And another one is I think Crush. I've listened to a
Yeah.
couple songs. Also Cold.
Yeah. I was
And
about to say Cold. Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. And also like K-pop, I don't listen to as much as Kira does, but I do know some groups that have really good songs like 17, obviously BTS. Um
Day Six is like also a
oh yeah,
K
Day
band.
6. Yeah,
Yeah,
Day
I like
6, Day
Day
6.
Six.
Also, okay, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but Baekhyun from EXO, I think, is also a
Yo,
really good artist. Yeah, yeah.
see, see, Tiffany, I was about to like talk about the artists I've been listening to, and
Uh-huh.
Tiffany's just stealing them all.
Uh-huh. I'm reading your mind, Kara. Yep. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, like
there's so many artists out there. Like there's no end to exploring R&B or any music in general. That's just the beauty of it.
yeah,
There's so many options out there, you know?
Yeah, like as we've seen in today's episode, music tastes are so diverse, and I think that's really interesting. There's really something for everyone out there.
A little bit mix of a pop and R&B. I suggest Nikki and Joji, but you guys
oh,
probably already listened to it because they're so good. But
Joji, I know one song. I forgot. Like, what is the
Sing in the
song?
Dark. They're
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And another really good artist is Keshi. I
Yes.
basically have all his songs in my playlist because he's that good. He's more of a neo soul R&B guy. Also Mac Ayres is really good too. He's also neo soul R&B, and his is more of like uh It's more upbeat. So if you like that, you can try that out as well.
Yeah, there really is. And I feel like we just spent a bunch of time on like a very specific, but it's a very nice genre of R&B. One artist you didn't mention, Tiffany, I don't know if you know him. I don't know how to pronounce it. SL Child? SL Child? It's like
I
SLCHLD.
Oh, I do know him. Yes, I do know him. I think I have a song. No. Yeah, I definitely think I listened to him. Is it something like She Likes Spring, I Prefer Winter? That
Yeah.
song? I love that song. I also really like Camellia.
I'm literally trying to bring something to the table, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. I've listened to him before. Yeah, it's also really good.
yeah, I like Camellia.
Oh,
Also there's Junie.
mm.
Gunny.
Isn't he like a rapper though? Like a rapper slash R&B singer? Junie?
I only know a couple songs. Like I know By My Side, Thank You, and then I really just found him through he was singing covers of other people's songs, like Phineas. What is it? Don't fall in love for fall in love. Was it Fall in Love for the Night?
Oh, you're right, Phineas. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also Han. Honne. That's also a really good duo band, I think. That's also it's not really R&B, it's more like pop, I think. A little bit indie too. Oh my god, how could we forget Ciki? Ciki.
Yeah, I showed you. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, there's so many options. Yeah.
I've
Oh,
never
but
heard of
also,
like any of the names you guys just dropped, but like you've inspired me to check out R&B because that's really a genre that
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with. I'm more of like the person that just listens to the music on the radio, the music that
mhm.
everyone knows.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
curious, Jess,
I,
have you listened to Claro?
I have
Oh,
not
I
listened
don't
to
I
it.
don't even know who Claro is.
Yeah, I don't know Clara.
Oh, really? How about John Mayer? I think you listen to John Mayer, right? John
Yeah, I've
Mayer?
heard of him.
Yeah, he's also a good artist. I listen to him from time to time. But Claro is more, she's also really famous. She's more of an
How do you spell it?
indie, sorry?
How do you spell it?
Clairo.
Okay.
Yeah, she's more of an indie artist. A song I would recommend you guys listen to is her most famous one's probably Sophia, Sofia, and then her other one is, hold on, I need to, Softly. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yep.
Okay.
Also, oh my god, Jacob Collier is an R&B artist as well that I forgot to mention, and I don't know why I forgot to mention because he's awesome. He's like I forgot how many Grammys he won, but he won so many through his music.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. His
Oh.
Dehese. Oh God, I definitely pronounced that wrong. Um, I'm just not gonna pronounce it, but his volumes have really good songs in it. And he also collabs with another R&B artist called
Daniel?
Mahalia. Oh
Oh.
yeah, Daniel Caesar
Oh,
and
wait,
Mahalia.
for
Mahalia
the
is
moon one.
yeah. Mahalia has a really good song too called Plastic Plants. Check it out. And then one more person that I think we forgot to mention was I think it was uh Pink Sweaty?
Pink sweat. Pink
Sorry,
sweat.
Pink Sweat. Pink Sweat,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Uh yeah.
At my
Oh God.
worst, honesty. What is it? Yeah, honesty. I think.
Honesty. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
God.
good.
Yeah, there's just so
He is a
many.
good singer. Mhm.
Hmm.
So I would say right now, just like it's a new song, for Korean R&B, Bambi by Baekhyun is very good. It is it's pretty catchy. So I mean, if you're into Korean R&B or if you're interested, the past couple minutes were heaven for you with Tiffany giving all of her wisdom of the different artists.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
crazy is that I didn't even know Korean R&B existed until today, but now I have something to check out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Wait, Jess, do you recommend any songs that you like listening to?
um, I definitely like pretty classic songs. Like I like Viva la Vida. Oh, Viva la Vida. I don't know if I said that right. I like Natural by Imagine Dragons. I like
Mm,
Believer by Imagine Dragons. I like
Ah, yes.
yeah, I like
those hit hard.
okay, this is
Mm.
really random song, but I really like this old song by Nena called 99 Red Balloons, and it's actually in German. But I just find that song so catchy, and I think it actually is pretty meaningful, night, which is
Okay.
nice too. I like something just like this. I basically like all of the Weekend songs. I Can't Feel My Face, Blinding Lights. That's an absolute favorite right
Oh
there.
yes,
Mm.
that was for
Yes.
he performed that for the Super Bowl, right? Or which
Yeah,
one
he
was it?
did. He
I
did.
think so, yeah,
It's a good performance.
definitely.
Definitely. It was so interesting. I actually heard that he spent a lot of his own money on it because of COVID. It wasn't being
Mm.
like he had to basically invest his own money to adapt to COVID to make it still a pretty cool performance because I know that his sponsorship was planning on having him like basically zoom in, but he was like, no, I want to be there in person. So he spent a lot of his own money on that.
Oh, okay. That,
Cool, yeah.
I saw for his performance there were a lot of violinists, like this whole orchestra. That was pretty cool. Although I forgot if I really could hear the violins. But Tiffany, have you been playing the violin or have you touched it?
No, it's been over a year since I touched, no, okay, maybe less than a year since I touched my violin. But yeah, it's sitting in my garage. It's probably very out of tune and it's probably cold or maybe warm. I'm not too sure. But it's not in good shape right now, to be honest.
No, same. Really, because after we both quit orchestra um in
Mhm.
exchange for engineering. And
Yes.
yeah, that was it. It just started sitting. It's hibernating for it to never wake up again, probably.
Yes,
I did touch
probably.
it once. Like I touched it once and just to see like how badly have my skills deteriorated. And the answer is very badly. And
Uh,
it was very it's like it sounded very bad because violins, if you don't have experience with playing a violin, I feel like that is one of the instruments that sound the worst when you're unsure, like you haven't fully practiced, especially when you start learning. It sounds like a dying dolphin. It really does. It's
Yeah.
squeaky.
Yeah. I've actually had the experience of trying to play some of my friends' violins, just screwing around. And actually when I thought I was just logically doing the right thing, but when I just moved the bow across the strings, multiple times no sound came out or like you said, it sounded like a
mhm.
dying animal. And I was just shocked. I was like, it looks so easy when violinists are just moving the bow back and forth. But there's definitely a true artistry to that. And I applaud any violinists out there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, violin is a very hard instrument to learn for sure.
it is. Because you
Because
have
like
to
you
factor in
yeah,
pressure, all of
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, like on the strings, especially if you don't like usually professionalists, they don't have those tapes yet like that you would have in the beginner that marks the notes or whatever.
Right.
So
Mhm.
there's just there's so many
There's
places you can put your
technically
finger, you
infinite,
know? Yeah,
there's infinite pitches.
yeah, basically. Yeah, so intonation is definitely a very difficult thing to master. I know that was a struggle for me too. When I started learning like shifting positions, all that. Oh my God, that was a terrible
Right.
phase for me.
But honestly, intonation is important, but the articulation is probably the harder piece in
Mhm,
terms of violin playing, and that's your right hand using the bow because you have to make sure like what part of the bow are you using? What is your pressure, what is the angle that you're hitting the string at. And honestly, Tiffany, I don't know how you do it because you're left-handed and holding the bow, which I think is the more powerful, it really drives the violin playing. That's with your right hand. So I just don't know.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. Even though I'm left-handed, I never really had a struggle with it. It's probably because like when I started learning it, it's not like I swapped hands, and I uh learned how to play the violin with with the bow on my left hand. So I think it just naturally happened for me. If that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know if people have had like trouble playing violin because they're left-handed. I don't know. But also I like to mention that because I play piano, I guess the dominance in both of my hands are not much of a difference because when you play piano, you need both hands to be very strong and skilled. So yeah, I did learn piano before violin. So learning violin in terms of like the musical notation, it was a lot easier for me. So learning the violin wasn't that difficult as like people really starting from scratch.
That's the same with me because like my violin, I just learned completely in school. I didn't have any private lessons, but it came relatively easy to me compared to other people who had no music or classical music experience or background because I already had the knowledge of how to read notes and just how the notes interacted with each other. But do you still take lessons, Tiffany, for piano?
Yeah, I do. I go to my teacher's studio weekly now. And I still take lessons and I'm still practicing piano. So
Ah,
yeah,
that's very good.
yeah.
I've been playing since, I don't know, age 6. So I know probably 2 years ago I was saying I was playing for 7 years. So damn, wait, was it that long? I don't even want to say how long because I feel like my skills are not up to par as to how long I've been playing. But I've been playing for a while. But then COVID just stopped the plans. I just quit and it wasn't it wasn't a decided quitting. It was just when COVID came, we obviously weren't able to take the lessons every week because, lockdown, feeling unsafe. So it just almost drifted. Like it sounds like a friendship when you drift, and that's like me with the piano. So I just stopped
Yeah.
going to lessons and I just never went back. And I've never taken another piano lesson since March of last year.
I'm actually curious, if like did you start piano because like your parents told you to, or did you actually start because you took interest into and you wanted to learn it?
I mean, the suggestion was definitely my parents. Like I didn't just randomly want to play the piano, but also it was my sister, my older sister, who took piano lessons first. So I remember being excited, and she would teach me Mary Had a Little Lamb, with those like 3 or 4 notes, E, D, C, D, E, E. So, and I would be very excited to play that. So I did like piano lessons, and that's the thing, though, with classical music, it can get very intense. At the beginning, you're like, oh, it's very nice, it's very fun to play. And then once you realize you have to practice, it depends. Like, you really have to have strong interest in it in order to be happy doing it. Otherwise, it just becomes a chore.
Yeah, for sure. I think if I didn't really if I didn't truly like piano, as I do today, I don't think I would be playing that long right now because I think I started when I was 7. So I've been currently playing for 8 years. So yeah,
That's incredible.
thank you. I'm also very
Yeah.
proud of myself for sticking with it so long. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great that you really stuck with something for so long, especially like Kira was saying. I know classical music is extremely intense. Like, I've watched musicians, pianists, violinists playing classical music and their fingers are moving at like 100 miles per hour. They're like playing 10 different notes at once, doing these complex chords, crossing their hands over. I mean, such great hand-eye coordination.
They make it look so easy.
Yeah, and
Yes.
also there's like the entire math aspect of music, counting notes and stuff like that.
Right. It's a
Yeah.
math and at the same time an art.
Jess, I know you were in band, right? And throughout elementary school and middle school, right? What instrument did you play?
Yes, I was in band. I played the clarinet.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
for
Mhm.
me, band wasn't the most enjoyable thing for me to do. Um, I did play the clarinet, and I enjoyed band a lot in elementary school and the beginning of middle school. But as the music got harder and it became more intense, and that you needed to practice a lot, I mean, for obvious reasons, I started to dislike it a little bit. Um, yeah, I think it also depends, especially if you're playing in a group, who the conductor is, like who your director is. Because in sixth grade, I know we had a pretty great conductor who made band really fun, but I've also had experiences with some less good conductors who make it kind of monotonous and don't really pick exciting music. Because I think band can be really fun when you're playing like theme songs from popular movies and shows, pop music, or just those really exciting and cool, great band songs. But it kind of sucks when you're just playing those songs that are like boring. So I've kind of had a mixed experience. And this year I actually am not partaking in band because instead I'm taking art. But overall, I think it was a good experience to be in something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, it is.
I
It's
definitely
a
agree.
good experience to be in like in a music group, to be able to work with other people and learn about music and be able to play music. I think that's a good
Yeah.
experience.
I also agree with Jess on the fact that sometimes uh like school music can be very monotonous at times. That's also partially why I dropped orchestra because I'm sure Kira also knows this, but because we were in violin one group, right? And usually our conductor would have to focus on other groups. So really we would just be spending 40 minutes and we would probably be playing in only like a third of it. Like we wouldn't even be playing the whole time because we're just waiting for the other groups to, like learn their parts. And by the time we actually perform, it's not really I honestly felt like it wasn't worth the time. And also at that time, like I felt like violin wasn't for me. I felt like because I was sticking with piano and I obviously enjoyed the piano much more. So yeah, that's kind of partially why I dropped orchestra, just because the tape, like the music, I didn't really like, and also I wasn't really playing an orchestra, you know. And actually, I was in an outside orchestra, um, like I would go on weekends weekly, but even so, then like there was a limited level that you would reach, and I was already at that level, and every year the program was the same, like in terms of the songs, and at like once you move up each level, then you have different songs and a different conductor. So I was already at like the the highest level, you can say. So there wasn't really anywhere for me to go other than just stay there. And fun fact, I actually stayed there for I think 2, 3 years. In 2 of the years, I stayed at the high level and I played the exact same songs,
Oh,
for 2 years, and I did
Wow.
a concert of the same songs for 2 years, like, in the same things, so that's just kinda how I dropped my interest in violin. Um, and obviously when I play piano, I have classical repertoire that I have to practice, but, part of, sometimes during the summer or if I have extra time during the week, I just play songs that I like to play, on my own. Um, for example, I sometimes play anime songs, like openings, and I learn them and they're just really interesting for me. So yeah.
have you ever tried composing?
No, I do not think I'll be trying that anytime soon though.
Okay. All right. So we have definitely talked about our music, and we actually even went to creating music in a way, just playing music, not necessarily composing, because I don't have the musical brain to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed today's episode.
Yep. Me
And we
too.
will see you next time.
Yep. See you guys next time.
Thanks for
Bye.
listening.